Hey, what's up? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jerrel. I'm the developer behind the Silver Falls series. And we're going to play our upcoming Nintendo Switch game. So we'll just wait a bit while things get sort of set up and live stream. I know it's a bit last minute. I just dropped the live stream all of a sudden, but I guess that's just how things work around here. Grab life by the steering wheel, and you just do one of these, drift around. So I'm trying to. I just got to mentally keep track of what I don't want to spoil. So give me a second. This is mostly just so we can create just an opportunity for people to have a closer look at the game, so they can see whether or not they're interested in picking it up when it launches May 6th on Nintendo Switch. So if you'll forgive me, I've sort of gone cold turkey off coffee the last couple of months while I've been finishing up this game and getting ready to publish were pretty brutal. So I was uh, relying on coffee to sort of get me started in the morning, and then to pretty much keep me going throughout the whole day. So after I finished the project, I sort of went cold turkey on the coffee, and I'm trying to go back to being a normal human being in terms of not drinking coffee. I've noticed a bit of a screen tearing, which is kind of annoying. My graphics card is not the best in the world, it would seem. I am seeing. Huh, is it? Let's see here. Let's fix it here. Hey Sean, hey Zelda N64 fan. I'm also a Zelda N64 fan. It said the Twitter link is broken. What is it? Not clickable? Let's see. Nintendex, hey, how's it going? Yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. We're gonna get started in a second. So you can see we've got we have two playable characters here. Ah, okay, thank you. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Sean. Okay, let me get this. Sorry, guys. I'm just fixing up the. Okay, here we go. Get that fixed up. Put that back on. We're here. Okay. All right. Alright, fixed up. Thanks for that, Sean. Okay. That's what happens when you go cold turkey, when you've been relying on coffee to keep you alive. Alright, we've got that fixed up. Okay, guys, so we've got Romanic and Bull, and if the screen keeps tearing, I'm going to have a look at my capture card, which isn't that great. So, let's see here. Okay, you guys, that's all fixed up. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to code link so you can see the connection process with 3 down stars. So you can see we only have Romanic and Bull. Slots. Oh, I should have got the outfits for Romanic. I don't want to spoil anything. So it's probably better that I left that, actually. I want people to find it themselves. Ooh, boy, that screen tearing, though. I'm just going to have a quick look at my settings for that, and I'm going to see if I can make it not screen tear so much. What is up with that, man? Let's see. Try that. Still screen tearing, or we'll leave it there and then see how it goes. Anyway, okay, guys, let's get started. Thanks for jumping in. We're going to go to Code Linker, which we've seen in a couple other games. Now we're going to enter unlock code. Yeah, we're going to hit the X button. It's going to ask you to enter your unlock code or your unlock code. So it says your link code. That's your blue code. So mine is MWXKD. It's unique for each save file. So on my 3 down stars, it's probably super shiny because of the light right there. You got your 3 down stars there. Let's see. I'm going to go to my extras menu. I'm going to go to Code Linker there. And then I'm going to go to create an unlock code. Yeah, so create that, blah, 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 and then it's going to say enter your code. So I'm going to input the code that my Switch is giving my MWXKD. WXKD. I'm going to hit OK. And of course, for everyone, their code's going to be unique, so my codes won't work for you. So I'm going to enter my code now. So you can see 3 down stars gave me a gold or a yellow code to put back into the Switch game. So it's a pretty easy process. Only takes about 2 steps, really. K, E, C, T, F. Sure. Alright, cool. So it says Holt Granford is now available in battle mode. Sweet. So back out of there. Battle mode, we'll just select that. And hey, Holt has shown, so I can go to 3DS away. So you can see each character has their own individual skills that they come built in, but as we'll see, you can build up your own unique loadout for each character, then have them customized with your own skills. So, because the game stars Romanic, we'll start with Romanic. Holt 45. Yeah. And if you've played 3 down stars, then their moves sets do line up with their skill boards from 3 down stars, and also their stats. So the stats are hidden in this game. There isn't any stat progression like there was in Frontier Fighters from 3 down stars, but in episode Prelude, the characters do actually have the same stats. So Holt will have their stats carried over. So if you're sort of accustomed to playing them, they'll feel really familiar in terms of their strengths and weaknesses. Holt was sort of your balanced character who was really good with melee weapons. And Holt, Bull was slower, but man, you land one of your special attacks, and that's cool. Oh no, that's pretty bad. Bad start. And the other, anyone who hung out on some of our other live streams will probably recognize that enemy, which we actually sculpted and then painted. I think I rigged and animated it off down a live stream. That's sort of a long, boring process. Okay. Oh, which mechanic? Oh man, I actually didn't. I was doing a lot of testing, so I didn't actually set up a proper loadout. So when we get back to the hub area, I have to set up a proper loadout. Yeah, I sort of just ran in here. What do I have anyway? Oh, this is great. My little webcam window is actually blocking part of my inventory, so people can't see what's down there. Nice, good one, me. Good one. Yes, yes. So there's the button mashing to escape, which is a core part of 3 Down Stars. So you can take quite a bit of damage. And I'm sure you guys already know this. You don't really take that much damage from grappling. The main danger is when you're down, other enemies can still hit you and damage you, so you need to escape as quickly as possible. And we still have emergency weapons. Um, so I'll set up a proper loadout now. So yeah, I got really messed up. You might notice there's more enemies on screen in episode Prelude than there were in 3 Down Stars. Obviously, we can afford to have more uh, characters on screen with the Switch, which is pretty sweet. Um, yeah, that was just the first. And again, this is battle mode. This isn't a story mode, so this is battle mode. And battle mode is just all out, action and pretty much just war. It's endless waves of enemies, and the enemies that generate they can be um, a different sort of a setup of enemies every time, depending on where you are in the map. So the enemies that pop out and that you deal with change quite a bit depending on how you're playing and where you're playing in the map itself. So it can stay pretty fresh. Cool. Can't see my final 2 slots because of my webcam. Nice. All right. So I'm gonna. All right. So there's an option in this game to where you can turn off the visual button prompts. So, normally, you go up to something and it says, "I'll press the A button to do this." But in survival horror games, that's quite immersion breaking when you see your controller on the screen, and your character says, "Oh, I got to press the A button." So in this game, there is an option to turn those off, and there's a notice there, and it says it's only for experienced players who already sort of memorize the controls. You can always go to the options and turn it back on. So I might do that just so it's a little less confusing for people. So I already got one of these weapons. It's pretty sweet. That's the Manticore Shotgun, which is pretty hard to get in episode Prelude. Um, yeah, I'm gonna wanna actually I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna buy some ammunition. That's pretty sweet. I'm gonna keep that. Okay. Let's see. So you can buy your snacks there. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna buy a bunch of this. So yeah, I got some money for shotgun shells. Ching. It's the sound of spending money. Oh, I'm gonna buy a couple more shotgun rounds, and I'll just rely on that for a bit. Okay. Cool. I better reload this guy. So you can quick map. These have sort of up, left, right, and down in the same way with 3 Down Stars. Those are the quick map um, on the D-pad. Uh, so you can see you're pressing the D-pad. It's swapping. It's the same as 3 Down Stars. Let's see, Sean. For an option, have a sort of outline to nearby interactable objects. I had considered something like that, but I um, don't like the outlines because, again, I personally feel it's very immersion breaking when something starts glowing. Um, I follow the same philosophy with 3 Down Stars, and I only added sparkles to certain objects due to um, fan requests because they're saying certain key items are hard to find because I like when the items blend in and that you physically have to go and then when the prompt comes up, then it lets you know you can pick it up. But I find the outlines, to me, I find them a bit too immersion breaking um, for the vision of Silver Falls. Um, Actually, I don't think I want this one. items. And you can actually select the levels here. Okay. I'll just go to the menu and then I'll show you that option real quick. I'll turn it back on so it's easy for people to understand. Okay, so you can see you have show buttons. It's currently on off, and you have show health when hit, which is also. I'm actually going to turn those on. And you can invert and change the music as well. So we'll go ahead and turn those on. We'll go back to battle mode. We'll go back to the desert house, and then we'll be Romanik again. All right, we'll do a round with Romanik, and then we'll switch over to our guy Holt. So. I think it'd be pretty exciting seeing Holt. Okay, so we have our. Oh yeah, and you can get different colored laser sights. So as you play story mode and you explore, there's a lot of hidden stuff. You can get a bunch of different laser sights as well. Okay, I gotta. Oh, getting killed. So you can see as I'm taking damage, now my health in the corner shows up. So, yeah, by this point in the game, it hands out a lot of weapons and skills really quickly in battle mode. So they're sort of like, all right, you better have a good loadout because we're going. All right, so let's see the next wave's gonna come in here. So in battle mode, you don't unlock any exclusive content. Like I didn't want it to be like a requirement for people to get everything out of it. But by playing battle mode, that's how you get weapons and whatnot. It looks like I didn't. Treasures will randomly spawn, and then you can get more weapons, and each one can have random stuff attached. Ah, dang it! Didn't get any random weapon spawns this time. Alright, let me see what we're doing. Ouch! So you can manually push the left analog stick in, and you can check your health. So how full that circle is. That lets you know how good your health is. And I spent a lot of time. Oops, this was a bad time to reload. I don't think I brought any health items, which is cool. Good for me. Correct. Yeah. Battle mode is just. It's fun. Don't worry about anything. It's just battle mode's a very chill mode. I personally prefer modes like Frontier Fighters, where you can keep unlocking a bunch of stuff, but it's a lot less chill, I think, because you're constantly thinking about, oh, what do I do next? What do I go next? And for this, I wanted something that people can sort of just put on for a couple minutes, and then just enjoy it. You know, you're on a bus ride, you go on the train for a couple minutes, and that's it. Whereas with Frontier Fighters, it's kind of like, you got to find the medallions, you got to try and, get all the stars on the level. Whereas this is like, you get killed, you're like, that sucks, I got killed. But every time you come back to the hub area, you get new weapons. So it's kind of like, all right, I got killed, but hey, I might get cool stuff next time. Oh, it looks like I've muted the game. Did I mute the game? Let's go ahead and turn that back on. Close that and that. Okay, so let's see what I got this time. Yeah, it's just a fun mode. But you can see it gives you a high score for each stage. Okay, I got Invincible Scavenger, so we'll check what that does, and then rolling attack power. Actually, I might want to keep that. Let's see. Cool, my webcam is covering the items. Nice. Alright. Okay, so boost melee attack by 40% while when attacking. I said percents. That's at the end, so that's cool. All right, so I really like that. I'm going to be using that a fair bit. Okay. What else did I get? What did I just pick up? Oh man. See, what happens when you don't. Oh yeah, this Urban Ninja Star. All right. We got. Is that what I picked up? Uh, oh. I want to buy items? Yeah. Buy some stats, please. So you can see now the prompts are coming up. So it says, press the A button. So I'm probably going to want to buy a couple of these guys and put them on an item slot. Okay, so that guy there. I'm going to put that other. Cool. Oh no, I accidentally. Oh, I'm an idiot. I drank my item. Oopsies. And you can see I didn't recycle the items on the ground there, so maybe I better buy an extra one because I used one. I don't want that guy. I better reload that. I'm gonna keep that. I'm not really feeling this one, so I'm gonna put that on my emergency. It has a huge hitbox anyway, so that's cool. Anyway, I'm not sure what colors I've unlocked. Okay, so I haven't got them all. I'm doing green. So that's this time. Let's see. All right. Oh right, I was saying I got sidetracked because I was getting absolutely murdered by monsters. I put a lot of thought into how to express the character's life, and a life meter is it's so standard. It's what we expect, but I want Silver Falls to feel immersive, and I feel like a life bar just sort of takes you out of it and reminds you, hey, you're playing a video game. Uh, and I really dislike strawberry jelly, so frame rate has a tough time in this area. My capture card isn't the greatest, so I'm actually going to just switch to performance mode. And I don't necessarily spawn a lot of enemies right here because the water's, unfortunately, it's quite expensive to render, but once you get out into the action area, the frame rate goes back to normal. So, that's just, that's just how technological constraints work. The frame rate is anyway. Right, so I was saying, I decided on this circle here that shows you what your health is because I wanted something that was abstract, that wasn't a physical representation of a video game concept, because a health bar is a very video game concept, and when you see a health bar, you think health bar, or you see someone's hearts, and you're like, oh, okay, there's hearts, right? And you can see the whole heads-up display is quite pure of clutter, and this I think is an abstract concept that I think at first you're kind of like, what is that? And that's kind of the point of what I wanted with the health display, is that you don't really have a preconceived connection to a physical object or idea when you see that, but on its own, as an abstract concept, it makes sense on its own because that doesn't necessarily represent anything, but it's clear in what it's expressing is that, okay, it's not full anymore, and then as you take more damage, it becomes red, and then it becomes the circle doesn't become filled as much. I wanted to sort of represent like checking your pulse, but I didn't want the stereotypical LKG on the screen, and I didn't want to reuse the 3 down stars life bar, which wasn't intrusive on the 3DS because it was on a separate screen. It didn't share the visual space with the gameplay. And as you can see, when it's red, that's when it's important. It turn red to let you know that you are in danger. Because I'm focusing on talking, I'm getting murdered here. So I don't even know if I've killed anything yet. Alright, I did get this. Okay, I'm going to use my emergency weapon now. Here we go. That's it. Weapon. Oh, thank you. Sean, is there a tutorial message in Storm that lets the player know how the thing in the corner is the player's life? No. I was considering that, and I wanted this game totally free of tutorials because, again, that feels so very video gamey, uh, and I wanted people to just organically figure it out on their own. Because when you get hit by default, that meter is on. Uh, and when your character is injured, they start limping, and when they start limping, that meter of the health display also turns red. So I wanted people to feel like they figured it out um, on their own if they don't hear me talking about it ahead of time. But I feel like I've tried to design it in a way to, as you take damage and that health indicator keeps appearing, you'll eventually figure it out um, just by looking at it. And again, I sort of wanted it to feel like it was an aspect of puzzle solving as well. Like you're looking at it, and eventually, visually, if you just look at it, you can figure it out. Thank you, Nintendo. Yeah. So, do you guys want me to play as Holt now? Um, let's see. Oh, cool. This is very useful. Um, so that you can use your health items faster with Speedy Eater and Treasure Hunter 2. Let's go ahead. Oh, that was an ice rod. I didn't even realize. Cool. Cool. All right, we're gonna go to Holt now. Nice. I got it. Yeah, got me an ice. Yay. All right, and then it freezes. Like the original game, they freeze. There we go. So, you might notice some things with the games. There's obviously any creator that creates a game. Um, you have time constraints. There's a lot of demands. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what people think of the health indicator because again, at the end of the day, that health indicator isn't totally necessary because your character starts limping when it's important. You can tell just by looking at your character. Um, and I don't, and I put a lot of thought and effort into it. I don't believe it's worse than strawberry jam being smeared on the screen, and I cannot stand when games smear strawberry jams on the screen. One of the reasons for that is it's obnoxious and obtrusive. It's omnipresent. Oh right, so Holt. So for story reasons, he can't actually play on that stage. Um, I don't think it's any more abstract than jelly jam. Uh, one of my worst experiences with strawberry jam is Resident Evil Revelations, and I think a lot of people have had the same experience where you get hit once and then you lose so much visibility that instead of waiting for your health to get lower, you use a health item right away because it's so obnoxious you can't see anything. So I would get hit once in Resident Evil Revelations. I couldn't see anything, and so I would just use all of my health items, and it would put me at a huge disadvantage because now, like, oh well, I'm not optimizing my gameplay, but it's not my fault because I can't. I'm getting hit by enemies on the side of the screen that I didn't even see were there. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, that's why. And what really doesn't make sense, first-person shooters, they make sense with Strawberry Jam, um, but when a third person game has Strawberry Jam, it's like, wait a second, why? Why? Why does a third-person game with a camera that's like following you from 20 feet away? Why is there story jam on that? Did the cameraman get jam on the camera lens? Okay, so you can see. Ooh, I am not doing well here. So Holt starts out with kind of no items. Ow. At least you can see the improved visual fidelity. You keep yourself alive jacket. I really need to get some better items. See, I believe people are, sharp enough. I'm not going to treat my audience like they're stupid. I believe that when they get hit, they'll see that circle change from from white to red, and they'll figure it out. And it's mainly there for um, the player to make an informed decision on whether or not to use a health item, whether to wait or whether to use it now. And that's the importance of the health meter, because when your character is limping, you know that you're in danger. So the health indicator is not vital to that. it's there to help you make an informed decision. So whether you should use a small health item or a big health item. Yeah, yeah, it did add more immersion. I agree with that. Zelda N64 fan, but they shouldn't have. Well, I'm not going to tell any developer what they should and shouldn't have done, but I'm going to say that I would prefer it if I didn't lose so much visibility from getting hit. All right. So what's different with this mode from Frontier Fighters? You had a lot more control over your character customization in Frontier Fighters because of the skill board. And this game doesn't have the skill board. You're relying on these weapon drops that come way more frequently and way more often. So I wanted it to feel different from Frontier Fighters mode. Um, but you'll find things like the scythe are so slow and it's difficult to speed it up. So you're really going to rely on those random weapon drops to give you skills that speed up your weapons. Did I just? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Pew. All right. So this is exciting. This is Heaven's Door. So I put a lot of weapons in here that were very difficult to get in 3 down stars, and people would message, and they say, "Hey, I haven't got this thing yet." I'd say, I'm sorry, there isn't a fixed algorithm in 3 down stars. It's random weapon drops. But I made it a little easier to get the really cool stuff like Heaven's Door. Um, so Heaven's Door actually, for people that didn't get it in 3D, 3 down stars due to its rarity, this thing is all elements, so it's ice, fire, and electric. So if you have any skills that boost fire, electricity, or any of that stuff, or even explosive, it's actually secretly explosive as well. So that will actually um, whoa, we got a visual glitch here. So yeah, that's cool. That's why we do a cool, fun live stream. So this is one issue I had with the Switch, and Unity on Switch is hugely problematic, and it's so aggravating. And I was fighting it for months and months and months, um, and eventually I had to send the game in because there isn't much I can do to fight against Unity. And you guys have heard me complain about it before, but you see his pants have disappeared, and his headphones are freaking out. So this is going wild, going wild. We're gonna just start a level now. I'm just gonna grab some stuff from the box. Yeah. We used Unity for this, and it's problematic because it's not as robust as Unity and Nintendo say it is. And they assure, oh, this is the industry standard, it's perfect. I mean, I'm not in here to be a negative Nancy. Yeah, camo pants, that's what it is. Um, but they promised developers a robust and reliable engine, and that's not what is delivered. Uh, and there's a lot of things in the game that I wish were better. That I look at it right now and I think I need to do a patch and improve that. And the problem is I lost on this project. I lost 2 months of development time fighting Unity because you'll see stuff like that where the pants just you know went invisible, and then the physics on the headphones start freaking out. And I have absolutely no control over that. There's absolutely nothing I can do to mitigate that. And I don't want to sound like a complainer and say, oh, it's not my fault. Uh, but it's problematic because I have no control over that. There's nothing I can do to fix it. And I'm really just waiting on Unity to try and fix things, to try and understand what's wrong with it and fix it. But the problem is every time they roll out an update, performance tends to get worse, and then new bugs are always introduced, and then they often break other features that were working previously. So again, I'm not trying to say anything negative about Unity, but the process through which they manage their engine makes it very, very difficult to produce a large-scale game with a lot of components. Okay, so I'm sort of just talking a lot, and I'm not focusing on fighting. You can see Holt starts out with double cut, which is a lot of fun. Right, so the health indicator has changed to green, and that means you're poisoned. So you can sort of put two together green here from the enemies, and then your health bar changes. And you guys probably might be able to tell I'm still probably having a little bit of PTSD from working on this game and working on 3 Down Stars. And I was wishing and hoping beyond hope that, oh man, you know, Switch is the new console. There's a reward there. I'm gonna grab that. And I was thinking it's gonna be great. Unity's finally gonna work the way it's supposed to once I'm making stuff for the Switch. And unfortunately, it's a little broken, a little bit wonky. But you can see I've done my absolute best here, but I hit my absolute physical limit when I was developing this game, and it got to a point where it's like, you know what, you've got bills to pay, you've got things in life that you need to take care of, and at the end of the day, you're just going to have to accept that sometimes your character's legs turn invisible, and that's part of being a grown-up, is sometimes your legs turn invisible, and you're just going to have to accept that as part of life. And my fear now is I wait on Unity to roll out an update. Maybe it'll fix it, maybe it won't, but then the problem is, oh wait, there's a whole bunch of other glitches now that were not foreseen before, and then it'll introduce months upon months of extra development time trying to trick Unity into working. Anyway, I'm going to drop the subject because that subject sucks. I've talked too much about Unity being broken. It's not really fun. I've already gone on too much about it. But I'm really excited about, yeah, see, you know, it's something relatable, you know? Like you put on a set of headphones on your neck, and then they start freaking out, and then they're twitching all over the place. They start clipping through your neck. Am I concerned about Resident Evil 8 releasing a day after episode Prelude? Not really. And I'm not saying that from like, oh, I'm overly confident, arrogant, and ignorant. I love Resident Evil. Obviously, you know, like a lot of people, I grew up playing it. But just because people pick up Resident Evil 8 doesn't mean that they can't pick up this game, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 months down the line. So it doesn't mean they launch a close to similar date. You can't play this. This game launches at $7.99, and I know there's a lot of people out there that can't pick up a game at $80. In Australia, we tend to pay like $90 to $100. I'm so focused on development. My schedule's so tight. I don't have the disposable income to spend on an $80 or $90 game. And what I found recently is I'm playing games that are smaller that I can pick up for $9, $10. The health circle was green after I was poisoned by the enemies. Yeah, so for people that don't have a lot of time and they don't see a lot of point in spending $80 for a game if they don't have time for that between work and family, they can pick up this game, you know, $7.99 or €6.99 euros. They can pick this up, and it's meant to be a bit more casual because the story mode's quite short. You don't have to spend, you know, a ton of time playing story mode. You just play, and then battle mode you can play for a couple minutes at a time. So it sets out to accomplish something very different from Resident Evil. Or actually, we should be calling it Village because Capcom backtracked their statement on 8, didn't they? They said now it's Village, and they're saying now it's not 8. So I guess we just have to do what Capcom says. So, and unfortunately, I won't have time to play 8. But again, I don't have the disposable income for an $80 or $90 game, especially when I have a backlog of like 3 games because I've been working on this series for a while now. So, I'm gonna make it pretty challenging. I'm gonna make it challenging. All right, I'm gonna switch to Bull. Let's see what Bull's got. Yeah, unfortunately, when I pick up a game, I can play it for a couple minutes at a time. And all right. Hey, Sean, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time, and I hope you enjoy the game when it launches. So take care. We'll see you. Oh, you said Homefront has a jelly jam with 100% opaque black outline. Fantastic. You know what? Throw that JPEG right on there. We want that JPEG jelly jam on the screen. Throw it right on there. All right. So I played Bull a bit before. You know, I quite like the fire extinguisher. It's quite useful. So I got gun. I don't Put this on my emergency. Ah, yikes! It's too late. Leave me alone. Wait. Okay, it's too late. I'm gonna have to fight. Anyway, the cattle part is good. I mean, if you played 3 down stars, I'm gonna gotta get away from this water. Yeah, the cattle prod's pretty rad. Yeah, you know, I agree, Zelda N64 fan. I'm just gonna call you Zelda for now. Like, it's I kind of miss the days, you know, you come home from school and you kind of like, I don't feel like doing my homework, and I'd love to just go on a big fun adventure. And that's where games were like Ocarina of Time and, you know, like Resident Evil. You can lose yourself in those games because you're at a different stage in your life, you know, when you have so much time, especially when you like come home from school. But later in life, it's so difficult to find the time because you have so many more requirements. Come on, Gold, get up. Anyway, I like playing Gold because I can take a ton of hits on live stream when I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing in the game. Get so much health, so that makes it easier. Let's see here. And again, birds are as annoying as they were in 3 down stars. Let's go do a jumping attack. Oh, nice. I could do it. So you crouch, and then as you're crouching, you uncrouch and then attack, and you'll do a jumpy attack, which was something I added in a patch for 3 down stars. When people sent feedback, you know, players saying, "Hey, those crows, man," and I designed the crows to be annoying. They're just out of range of a lot of melee attacks because I felt like Resident Evil traumatized me with crows, and I thought I should do my part to spread the misery by making sure that crows in my game may just be just as miserable. Let's see if I can, like, I don't know where the path is because I'm sort of getting in my enemies here. I want to get up there. I forgot where the path is. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you like the music. I wanted to put more tracks in there, but I wanted to write new tracks, but my schedule was really tight on this game. And I'm dead. Let's see what items I get. Ooh, I hope I get some good stuff. So, yeah, there were a couple large games that I picked up in the past couple years, and I started playing it, and it's like, oh, you know, I really love this game. This is so great. And then it's like, oh, oops, I've got to go do all the ton of stuff that I should be doing right now. So I put about 2 or 3 hours into a game, and then I never play it again. And it sits on my shelf, and I look at the box, and I think, wow, what a great game. I really loved it. I only played 2 or 3 hours of it, you know, what have you. And it's like, that sucks. It's unlikely I'll ever get to play that game again, despite the fact that I enjoyed it. It's really good, which is sort of why I designed episode Prelude the way I did. You can finish story mode in one sitting. There's no save data, so it's designed to where you just do it. You enjoy the story. It's a short story. It feels like watching an episode of your, you know, your favorite show or movie if you're into the Silver Falls stuff. Gonna use these traps. I got 14 of them. Ooh. Nice. Nice. Let's check. So you can always check your damage here if you're unsure of what you're doing. So I got. So I did 90 with my kicky kicks. My cattle prod did 50. And the next Silver Falls that'll be coming to the Switch again is sort of a smaller one. So this area, you know, thanks, you know, Unity. I like that. You know, my gloves are getting eaten up here, which is nice. House. So yeah, I had a feeling some of these visual glitches would pop up on live stream, but I guess that makes it more fun, more funny. And it's actually, you see those big AAA titles that have glitches like that where characters' faces are eating themselves, and people are criticizing it, and it's like, Yeah, you know, it's funny, and I enjoy watching those videos too because it's fun, but also it's not as easy as you think it is because a lot of it, you know, big studios use their own engines. I use Unity because I'm not a huge studio, and unfortunately, I'm beholden to flaws of each individual version. So hopefully, in the future, we'll have a more stable version of Unity, and we can roll out an update to this game where we get rid of those funny glitches. But they don't affect gameplay. They don't cause crashes or anything like that. I do a lot of testing into it to make sure everything was just right. But unfortunately, there wasn't a lot I could do about those graphics. I was fighting and fighting, pulling my hair out. You know, at the end of the day, you just gotta. These guys, oh man, I'm gonna try and get them closer to the light. I really have fun. It was a lot of fun making this enemy on Livestream, actually, so people were there sort of commenting and saying, oh, do this, do that. Wait, you have a shotgun? I'm talking so much I didn't even pay attention. Okay. Owie. Leave Bull alone. Oh yeah, Tetra Cannon. No, leave me alone. Did I do an emergency weapon? No, I didn't. I'm dying. So you'll notice, you know those tumorous blobs that a lot of enemies have. You shoot that, you'll get a chance to. You'll trigger the special attack. You'll find that these sort of fast desert dog type things, their only sort of cancerous blob is right in their mouth. So when they're doing their howl animation, that's when you can hit it. But up until that, they have a lot of body armor, so they're very difficult to take down. Is this the end for me? Come on, button mash! Yeah! See, I grew up playing Mario Party, so I'm quite good at button mashing. And also, tearing the skin off my hand using analogs. Oh, cool, I got it! No! Dang! Ah, I shot the thing in his mouth and then he grabbed me, so that's a shame. Alright. Man, I'd love to share story mode a bit, but I don't want to drop any spoilers. And unfortunately, well, I mean, not unfortunately, but I designed story mode to be really densely efficient. It's really tightly packed, so there isn't a lot I can show in story mode without spoiling a bunch. And I really want people to just go in fresh and enjoy it. Dang, those didn't have any skills. So, yeah. Anyway, you can see there's 4 stages available in battle mode. And, alright, I'm gonna go to the mountains. I'm gonna see if I can find some treasure there. Dang, this is pretty strong. Alright. Let's see here. Nice. What's that? What's wrong with this thing? Oh, it's birding shotgun. I went to my inventory because I don't have a lot of inventory. So anyway, I'm just gonna run to the mountains and try and grind for some items. Let's see. Mountain Forest. What I was saying already. Trying to multitask and I haven't had coffee. So, here's a small teaser. The next Silver Falls game that's coming to the Switch will be multiplayer. Will be 2 players. So, couch co-op. You'll be able to even take the Joy-Cons off the console if you were sitting somewhere. You can use the Joy-Cons at handheld. But yeah, it'll be 2 players, so 2 people can play together. I really want to. Just want to find that treasure that randomly spawns. It's still there. So I made that. There's a bright blue light that lets you know where the treasures are. No, it's not there. Treasure, please. Well, you can try and enjoy the graphics while you can, and then the enemies will come in. Treasure. Honey, go. Leave me alone. I'm looking for treasure. So as you guys can tell, the mountain mode is where, if you've got the really big loadout, you sort of build the loadout a bit. This is where you're going to be put to the test because there's a lot of stuff coming at you from all directions. I already forgot what I got. You know what? Cattle prod. Hey! Oh no, Crow, come here. I made a mistake. I should have been using this. Here. No! So, the crows are where your spray items, like your flamethrowers, your bear spray, that's where you really get a lot of use when you're trying to take down the crows. Because the spray weapons, they hit such a big area. No! Leave me alone! Treasure! Oh, I got a feeling there's something. I'm gonna try this other area. Ow. Okay, this is a lot of enemies here. Oh no. If I was paying attention to the game, I would have an emergency weapon set up. I know it's lots. Oh right, I didn't go to the box and get my shotgun ammo. Oopsie, oops. Alright. I was just trying to run for treasure, but I don't know if any spawn because it spawns randomly. And I'm dead. Oh no! Wow, cool. Ah, Bull has so much health, it's awesome. So yeah, if you guys have Undertakers, or if you know someone who has Undertakers on the 3DS, you connect, you do the code linker, and you'll get Bull Brandish. So if you want tons of health and a big, strong melee attacker, yeah. Heal on, please. There are so many enemies and I'm not killing any of them. Alright. Is anyone still using like their PSP or Vita? Because I just picked up some old games the other day. Oh man, I'm sort of drawing a blank. But I was just thinking like, well, even the Vita, the PSP is still quite impressive. Like, sometimes I boot up a game on the PSP and I think, whoa, this looks way better than I remember. And actually, picked up some old DS games again, and I used to think that the 3D, yeah, Tron, Mechanical Animal, cool name by the way. Nice, Tron. How is that? What kind of game is that? I didn't know there was a Tron game for PSP. Would you recommend it? Because I grabbed yeah, that sucks. I often look back when I sold I sold my PSPs numerous times, and then I've sold my DS numerous times because sometimes you just need the cash. But then it's nice going back when you can pick one up again. It's like, oh, it's such a nice nostalgia trip to play old games again. Huh? Okay, cool. Tron. Yeah, I'll look for it. I tend to go for games that I can just play a bit here and there. Cool. Yeah, light cycle. Nice. Um, nice. Yeah. My collection of 3DS games is probably one of my bigger uh, collections because the games were meant to be to pick up and play. You know what game I really like that I really miss is the what do you call it? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. There's some sound. I think a cat jumped on my roof or something, which isn't it's not real nice. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was saying 3DS. Yeah, you know what games I really liked on the original DS were games that you could play vertically. Those are really sweet. You know, it kind of felt like you were holding a book. And I don't know, it's like it's before the advent of mobile games uh, on phones and whatnot. Um, there weren't really vertical games, and playing the DS in vertical mode was really cool. It felt fresh and interesting, and the way the games tended to use dual screen was really cool. You know, kind of thinking like the Ninja Gaiden, the Brain Age sort of thing. It kind of sucked that the 3DS didn't really do vertical. Cool, just using the touch screen. It meant that developers had to come up with interesting concepts. Double Dungeon. What's I'm not sure if I've heard of Double Dungeon. No. Oh man, see, I don't even know. Ow. Actually, I saw Persona 4 on a Vita the other day. The first time I hadn't seen it before, and it was kind of, wow, this game looks incredible. It was really gorgeous, and I hadn't even, if I had known about Persona 4 on the Vita sooner, I would have, grabbed it and played it definitely. Um, when I was playing my Vita more often. Hey, how's it going? Chris, what's up? So we are in the middle of this stream. I'm having a hard time paying attention to the game now, because now we're sort of talking about Vita and PSP. Now I'm just thinking about games, so I'm barely paying attention to these enemies that are clearly destroying me. Yeah, take that! You ever slapped a crow out of the air with a bat made out of ice? Oh, I don't know why I did a jump attack. I might have to go make myself a coffee, actually. I haven't had one for probably about a week. I might take a quick break from the stream and make a coffee. Oh yeah, when your character goes back and forth. You know what was such a cool console that I would have liked to see more of? A sort of, you know how in Zelda Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube, where Link, you're playing and Link can go into like a building and then he goes into your Game Boy screen. Oh, that's so cool. It's such a cool idea. I would have loved to see more. I have like 2 or 3 Guitar Heroes on DS. Actually, I'm gonna let these monsters kill me. I'm just gonna go to my shelf real quick. Very dusty. Very dusty. You say that, you bring up Guitar Hero on the DS. Oh, there's my cartridge. Here we go. Very dusty. Very dusty. I've got like 2 or 3 of these. Yes. Guitar Hero fan. So there we go. These things are the coolest things. Yeah, I actually grabbed these. You're not going to believe it. I saw them in our game shops here in Australia, and they were on sale. This was probably like 4 years ago. They were on sale for like $3, so I just grabbed a couple of them. I gave some to some friends. It's shocking, right? How they were able to do a Guitar Hero on DS. So cool. PSP didn't really get a lot of attachments, did it? It had like the GPS thing that went up top. It had the camera, but the DS got a lot of cool things. Probably because it had that GBA slot on the bottom, so you can attach it. A couple of YouTubers have done really cool videos, like they'll show pianos and all sorts of things. Nice. Oh, it's cool. You can still find them. Yeah. You're gonna need like wrist therapy after using the Guitar Hero DS thing after a while, because you're holding it at like a weird angle, and then you're sort of twisting your neck to track what's on the screen. Oh yeah, were there treasures? I didn't pay attention. Yeah, so you can see my health circle, my health indicator is green. So I am poisoned. So when you're poisoned, you keep taking damage over time, but poison cannot KO you. So it cannot reduce your health to zero. It can only lower it. Where's my item? I have a health item. No! Leave me alone! Drink my juice. Let me drink my juice. There's a poison on their face and they drop the drink on the ground, which I thought is that is a cool detail when I sort of I was working on development late when the character just like threw the item on the ground and you can like stack up a bunch of them on the ground and they despawn after a while, but I thought this is fun. I have I have the Tony Hawk motion board as well. I'm a big fan of oh yeah, I love the Tony Hawk games. That motion board, I couldn't get it to make me feel like I was scoring well, and I kept thinking I would rather use a controller, but it was really fun, you know. Right, so I'm playing battle mode, but episode Prelude is narratively driven, so it has two modes, story mode and battle mode. And story mode, I'm not going to play it on the stream because I don't want to spoil anything. Story mode is very tightly packed in terms of being efficient with storytelling and content, so there's no filler in story mode. It's just like watching an episode in a show or a movie. Whereas battle mode is very chill. You can play it for a couple minutes at a time and just keep getting better items and keep killing enemies. I'm sort of playing the chill stage. So this is the desert house in the morning. You can see the enemies, they're not overly aggressive in this one and they're kind of smaller, so you can be more chill, so it makes it easier for me to talk on the stream. Whereas you play the mountain stage and like, enemies are just going to kill you non-stop. So the battle mode is sort of an endless action-packed mode where enemies keep attacking you and try to get a high score. Weapons will randomly... I'm not even aiming at this point. Weapons will randomly drop. They have random skills attached to it, so there's like 80 skills in the game as well, so you can build a really good loadout for your character. I'm barely paying attention to what's happening in the game. There's a Tony Hawk game that uses a second cartridge in the bottom for motion for the DS. Really? I didn't... I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't know that existed. That's really cool. I love random stuff for the DS. I still have a couple DSs. I've got like 4 or 5 sitting around. But specifically the DS Lite. And that's also so you can transfer Pokemon from your Game Boy Advance games to your DS games. There's a time in my life where that was like I had to hunt them all down, and then I had to make sure that I transfer all of them across. Getting real cartridges for the GBA games is quite tough. It's quite challenging. All right, let's see what I get. So when you finish a stage, the battle mode stage, you end up here. Let's see. Okay, I got Hungry Reload. Oh, that's very useful. So anyone who's played Three Down Stars will probably be familiar with this skill. Yeah. So you reload 1 round of ammo when you use a healing item. That's very useful. If you've got a strong weapon, you know, like a Magnum revolver or something, or a bow, you know, if you've got something that takes a long time to reload, um, then Hungry Reload makes that kind of easy. If you have a stack of like, because you can go over here. You can buy a bunch of these cheap energy bars. I'll do that now, actually. You've got energy bars. Let's see. And then I'll just put that here. So now every time I eat one of these bars, so let's see if I have ammunition. I'll show you here. So you can see I've got 5 rounds of ammunition on this guy. Now there's 4. If I eat this, it should just reload them for me. Done. Now I've got 5. and the shotgun again. And this skill is meant to be combined with other skills. So there's I think a safe snacker, or I can't remember the exact name, but you gain some invincibility while you're using an item, so that you keep those two skills on you. So every time you eat an item, you get some invincibility, and it'll reload um, your current equipped main weapon. So that's very useful. Lock on. Ooh, this is useful. Um, so lock on will let you lock on to a nearby enemy. Kind of cool. I'm gonna buy a couple more of these things. There's a lot you can do, so it's not just sort of like a mindless shooter game. It's very much sort of tinkering with your character's skills, and then you're meant to sort of mix and match the skills and combine them. There's still a lot of tutorial stuff here as well, so these are the same sort of tutorial, or not tutorials, but the same sort of guides from 3 Down Stars on 3DS. And they'll sort of explain all the mechanics to you here. And again, you can check your damage on this hay bale here. You can freeze enemies with this rod, but it's quite slow. I think I might be actually use it off It's good to put not like a crappy weapon. It's good to use it as an emergency. I don't have anything here that I want to lose. Yeah, anyway, let's switch back to Holt so we can kind of look at some jacket. Did not know there was a Tony Hawk game with DS motion controls. I would have loved to see more sort of peripherals for the PSP. Yeah. So this is one weird glitch that I couldn't really get a handle on. Is sometimes when you return to the title screen, you'll get these black squares, and again, the development environment is not fully under my control as a developer, and weird things happen. I just don't really have control over it. So, right. Going to the mountains, Hope. And again, there shouldn't be anything that sort of interferes with the actual gameplay itself. It's just minor visual issues, which I'm hoping I can fix and then roll out in a patch pretty soon. Thanks very much, Chris. Yeah, it's going to launch in in Europe May 6th. So, and that's CEST time. I'm not sure off the top of my head what that is. I just trying to use my brain to think and play the game at the same time. Alright, all I see is that I got sidetracked. I saw the blue light and I suddenly felt like a bloodlust for treasure. So, where's the path? I found a path so I can get my treasure. Leave me any treasure. Oh, here it is. Just one treasure, please. No, creatures. Leave me. Leave me. I'm gonna use my emergency weapon. I really want this treasure. I don't know what it is. Alright, I'll sacrifice that stick. So it's pretty easy to get those cheap sticks. They're good for emergency weapons. I didn't even get to see what it was. I'm gonna look for more treasure. You can see it, especially in this area, I tried to make it as visually interesting and densely packed with detail as I could. And this is one area of the game where I really wanted to see how far I can push the Switch in terms of just raw detail and performance with the outdoors. I'm pretty happy. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do more. I wanted to have more interactable physics objects in the environment. But I'm quite happy, and I'm really looking forward to people getting a chance to play the game. And that's going to be in a couple days, which is very exciting. So this area, you look really creepy at night, and you see sort of shadows moving around and there's wind sort of blowing the trees around. I think that'd be pretty creepy. And no treasure spot here. Yeah, Chris, absolutely. When you're a solo developer, you run into something that you don't know how to solve yourself, it's going to be a major problem because you're going to spend a lot of time learning how to do it. And a lot of times, if things are engine dependent like they are with Unity, you have no control over it. You just kind of wing it, you do your best, and you try and come up with creative solutions. That's all you can do as a solo player. Just do your best, you know, and hopefully a new version will be rolled out in the future that'll make things a bit easier. Just wanted treasure, but there's none here. No treasure for me. Let me go check the other guild, actually. Let's see. This is a pro tip. That when you get grappled, the screen sort of says push all the face buttons in, but you can actually use ZL and ZR as well. And I threw that in just as a sort of a retro Easter egg, because I love the era of games that had things like that, sort of, and it was very prevalent during sort of the 32-bit era, where you would find things like that, where it's like, oh, you want to know this cool trick? You're only going to find the trick in our magazine, you know. And it seems like something that a magazine would have said, like, oh, did you know you can also use ZL and ZR to speed up button mashing when you get grappled? So yeah, that's why I threw that in there. I thought it was a fun thing to do. Hito Soji, another solo. Oh, cool. I'll look that up later. You know what? There's so much, and it's not just like, you know, so many people have the 32-bit era as part of their formative years. It's not just that. There's a certain philosophy to game development back then, and I think it's when creativity really thrived. And I'm not, you know, an absolute expert on the history because I was very young back then. There's 32-bit games tend to push the limits of creativity because there was suddenly we jumped from, you know, 2D games and side scrollers, you know, mascot side scroller platformers. Suddenly you have a whole playground to play with. So again, we have that funny visual glitch here, and again, I was trying to figure out a way to fight it before release. It happens rarely, but for some reason on this stream, it's happening. It's happened twice now, so it's pretty funny where his pants disappeared. And it's funny because during testing, I went for about 2 weeks and it didn't happen at all. So of course, during the live stream, his pants released. That's one of the things that we had to deal with Unity was I have no way of making Unity stop doing that, you know. And I'd be rolling my face across a keyboard, you know, just slamming my face on the keyboard for 2 or 3 weeks, and there's no way to sort of stop this stuff from happening other than just tearing out a bunch of stuff, and then, you know, something that you ripped out suddenly made the game work. It's a little bit frustrating, but I'm hoping we can get that fixed up and then rolled out. So enjoy it while you can, because that's likely going to disappear in a future update. What do you prefer, Chris? What do you prefer in the 32-bit era? Do you prefer 32-bit 3D games or 32-bit 2D games? There's quite, like, you can tell the difference between a 32-bit 2D game and a 16-bit 2D game. Which would you prefer? Which do you think is better for the 32-bit era? I feel 3D there's a charm to it. With the 32-bit era, 3D games are, there's a very specific charm, you know, and it's not that it was the best 3D, but it was like, whoa, look what we can do now. Yes, absolutely. Tomba and Klonoa. I'm a huge fan of Tomba. I love the humor of the Tomba games. Just I played a lot of Tomba too, so sort of like jumping on a pig and then like throwing him. And it's cool watching those environments, you know, move around in 3D, but you still sort of have a very tightly structured 2D setup. Ah, cool, treasure. That's all I care about. Absolutely, yeah. I agree, Zelda. I didn't get to play a lot of it. I always wanted to. Were the Kirby games on the N64? Because I'm a huge fan of the 2D Kirby games. So seeing it in 3D is like, whoa! I can't believe this is the future of Kirby games. I didn't even read what it was. Don't even get to appreciate it. Guys, just I'm gonna see if they follow me. Ah! Okay. Surprised me. I would have loved to have seen Castlevania, sort of like a side scroller 2.5D Castlevania on the N64. I think I would have really enjoyed that. I love going back and finding the 3D transition games where it's like this franchise is always special attack. Nope, and I got grabbed. You know, where games transition from 2D to 3D, and some obviously fared much better. You know, you have your Marios and your Zeldas, and then sometimes you've got your Castlevanias where it's like, yikes, this didn't make it to 3D very well. Do you have any health items or? Oh yeah, check out the detail. I'm getting killed here. Check out the detail on the Manticore Shotgun. It's one of my favorite weapons in the game. It has the biggest, widest spread in terms of shooting it. Ouch. So that Manticore Shotgun does a ton of damage up close, but once you start backing away, it's not very useful because it deals much less damage. Let's see. 2-bit 3D has a very striking look where it feels very stylized but tries to be realistic. Yes, yeah, I agree. Well, I sort of like the Castlevania games on the N64. Like, okay, yeah, they're not maybe a graceful leap to 3D, but I really like the stylized look of them. Um, I recently found a game on the PlayStation, which I'd never heard of before. It's Japanese only, and it's called Missourina Falls, Mizzurna Falls, and it's so interesting. It's sort of like a slice of life puzzle adventure game where you're exploring this small town. I'd never heard of it. I heard about it about 2 months ago, and it's fascinating because the world is like it's open world. Oh, I got a chainsaw, sweet, and you're free to explore this whole town, which is kind of rare for a PlayStation game because the whole town was there. It was massive, and it has that sort of stylized look where it is a bit stylized, but they're trying to be realistic. So I know there's such a cool charm to it that we don't really, well, there's no reason to have that these days. We just go for all realistic. But things like that I think are very charming. What skill did this have? Uh, Heroic shot. The first shot after performing a dodge is that ability is so cool. All right, let's test it. We're gonna test that ability. We're testing heroic shot. So I'm gonna I'll equip this thing, right? So my base damage on my pistol, 9 Yikes. Ooh, okay. I dodge, I shoot, and it did 12. Yeah, what a cool ability. And that again is heroic shot. So the first shot after you do a dodge, 30% stronger. So there's a bunch of different abilities in this game that you mix and match, and you can sort of it rewards you for playing creatively. All right, so this pistol, let's see. Whoa, okay, this one's much stronger. 36. We'll do a dodge. 47. Cool. So I got 11 extra damage on that. Spanish press saying Castlevania Symphony of the Night was a bad game because it was outdated. Oh no, no. Actually, a lot of magazines said that because Castlevania 64 had sort of launched, um, or it had either launched at a similar time or it was coming up, and they were showing images of Castlevania 64, and they were comparing Symphony of the Night and saying, "Oh, Symphony of the Night is outdated. Look how bad it looks." Oh wow, and yeah, those articles did not age well. Whereas we can look back at Symphony of the Night now and we just say like, wow, what a beautiful game. It is beautiful. Let me see what I can eat here. I'm gonna buy some snacks, I guess, or what have I got? So I need to. I'm getting some funny flickering here. Put that away, and what we'll do is this is one detail I really like as well. That I just personally did it because I thought it adds life and character to the game itself. So when your character eats a snack, um, bust open the bag, they pour the chips on their face, and there's chips left over on the ground, and the bag sits on the ground. And if enemies hit you during that animation, then uh, the character obviously drops the bag, and then there's a bunch of chips that go flying everywhere while you're doing your eating animations. Yum 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 yum. Chips all over my face. They're littered. Kick the bag around a little bit. And I actually haven't tested the hard limit, so I don't know if anyone plays a game and they just want to buy as many snacks as possible and see how many bags they can get to spawn on the ground. Let's see. I guess Missourina Falls is a bit like Shenmue in that, yeah, it's sort of like a slice of life. You're running around town. I was so impressed with Missourina Falls though, and I when I was playing it, I wasn't sure if I was playing like a fan homebrew because it really did things that you didn't see in other PlayStation games. Let's see, I'm gonna have a look at my other abilities. I don't know what's going on. Uh, Increase reload speed while that's useful. Okay, maybe we can test that. Oh, okay. So Holt is not actually good at reloading. I think he's actually probably one of the slower characters when it comes to reloading. Oh, I got it. Kicked it for 146. Did reload a little faster, actually. Let's return to the title screen, and then we'll look. Just look at the skills that we got. Our skills. Alright. Yeah, it's interesting. I think you don't have to play Missourina Falls all the way through to enjoy it, because there are certain things. It has a little bit of Majora's Mask factor, because there is a sort of a time and a day system to where you can miss out on certain events. So I think you're meant to replay it multiple times, and I think you can probably play it for a couple hours to appreciate it from a technical standpoint. But controlling Missourina Falls is like trying to navigate your house, but you're in a go-kart, and you want to walk a certain way, but then your character gets caught on a wall, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna have to good luck turning, and then trying to get around the corner of this hallway. And Missourina Falls, I think, was a very good showcase on early 3D games on how to not do the character control, because it's really special. Oh, Ezekiel, hi, how you going? Thanks for joining the stream. All right, let's see. So we'll have a look at the skills here. So we have rolling attack power for Romanik. He boosts his melee attack by 40% when he's attacking while dodging. That's really good, actually. Counter attack, so boost melee power by 60% after receiving an attack. That's really good. And rolling sprint, so you boost movement briefly after dodging. That's really useful. Okay. And I'm saying that like I'm surprised, but I created these skill loadouts and balanced them months ago, so I already off the top of my head didn't remember what Romanik had. Um, so Holt again, he has the same skills from his. Well, he has some skills from his skill board from 3 Down Stars. So special power. That's why his his soccer kick, was a really strong. Double cut, which is very useful if you like using your melee weapons. So you get to do a combo. And dodgy brawler. So dodge an opponent's attack to trigger an opening for special attack. Very useful. And then our main man Bull. So we got armor booster. So that's why he can take so much damage, of course, because he has a lot of health, and then he also has armor booster. Farmer hand, so you boost the damage of tool melee weapons by 35%, which is really good. So if you've got your hammers, your knives and things like that, they'll qualify. And then defensive switch. Actually, I had forgot I'd given him that skill in this game. So when you switch your weapon, if you get hit, you receive 30%. We just plays Bull for a little while. Thanks for joining the stream, Ezekiel. How long have we been going? I'm not sure how long we've been going, but we've just been chatting about games, then watching me get murdered by enemies because I'm busy talking instead of playing the game. So Bull's got okay. Let's have a look at his inventory again. I'm blocking part of the inventory, so it's kind of hard to see. Oh, Bull only has 9 slots in his inventory. Um, Ooh, let's lay down some animal traps. Ooh, yeah. So radiation kills. So you see these green enemies. They can flinch you and do a little bit of damage if you're inside their radiation area. And then eventually you'll get poisoned, so your health indicator, which is in the corner, will turn green when you're poisoned. Oh, cool, an hour. Alright. I might take a break in a little bit, just to make myself coffee. Just for a couple minutes. Okay. So... Ooh, we'll set a trap. Yeah. Clunk. These do it. Oh, you ran right past it. You're mostly meant to use it on slower, difficult enemies. Oh, cool! I just dropped it right on him, like how you use a real animal trap. You just drop it on the animal. Yeah, I got a bunch of these. I got 4. Did I? Low key, I think I dropped that animal trap on that crow. That's just that's the Silver Falls seal of quality right there. Is a battle system that lets you kill a crow with an animal trap. That's how we do it here in Silver Falls. Is there any treasure in here? Yeah, give me treasure, please. Yum yum yum. Have some skills. What do I get? What do I get? Emergency bullet. Alright, let's see if I get killed while I try this. No! No! I've only got 9 item slots, so any items that you pick up go to the storage. So, emergency bullet. I think, when you get hit, I think it automatically reloads 1 round of ammunition into your main weapon, which, depending on your weapon, is crazy useful. I see another item and I have the bloodlust for items treasure. Treasure. If I run in a zigzag, I can't catch it. Tetra Cannon? Alright, Tetra Cannon is going into my inventory. Yes, Trident. No, please. I'm not sure if this Trident has any skills on it. I'll check it actually after I clear this mob out. I think there's a rabbit or something that followed me into the shed, and now he's trapped in there. He doesn't know how to get out. Cool. Let me check my Trident for skills. Nice. So that means all of my pistols will deal 25% more damage. So, cool, man. Oh, I've already got it. I don't know if you guys saw, I think I did a little bit of like a recording of the stage a week or 2 ago, and I had thrown, I wasn't even aiming, I just threw an urban ninja star. I threw it at a rabbit, and then it triggered a special attack, and then I ran up to him, and then he jumped up in the air to dodge. My character did a kick, and it kicked the rabbit out of the air. Total accident. I thought, yeah, that made me look really cool. I must be really good at this game. There's a lot of like physics-based objects here as well. Like I wanted to put a lot of details. So you can just knock over and kick over things like that. Just small things. Like a rock. You know, things that don't really fit gameplay, but I thought in terms of immersion, I would love to see more things where you interact with the environment. Sort of tree branches. There's a lot more visually I want to do, sort of effects and interact with it. I ran out of time, but hopefully with future games we can have more interactivity. Yes, actually, this Trident is in 3 down stars. Again, it's one of the more rare drops, but I had someone message me a couple weeks ago, and they were like, I've been trying to get a Trident for months, and then, like, in 1 day I got 3 of them dropped. It's like, yeah, I know, that's the struggle. Kusami, obviously I'm a gamer too, and I enjoy playing stuff where items can randomly drop, and I'll spend months trying to get anything, and then suddenly it's like, cool, now I have a bunch of them. So I think the phrase goes, when it rains, it pours. I'm poisoned, right? So you guys can see I got my green, so I'm going to try and hide myself in the corner here. Oh no, yeah, okay, my bad. That's my mistake. So I picked up radiation pills, but it went to my storage because my inventory is full. I was just going to show you eating the radiation pills. There are a few items that I wanted to do unique animations for, like how you saw eating a bag of chips, and then the character spills the chips all over their face. I wanted to do things like that for more items, but I ran out of time during the development. So in a patch, I might be adding in more unique item animations. This guy's just sort of waiting here. Um, and again, in this stage, the enemies are meant to be a bit more chill. This stage is meant to be the chill stage, um, and it's more meant to when you finish the stage. There's two criteria. You have your high score, and then you have your score uh, per minute. In this stage, it's easy. This stage is easy, but the score per minute is actually the challenge because the enemies are spread out, which means you need to find an efficient way to defeat all the enemies, even though they're all spread out. Whereas the other stages are more in your face. Yeah, so you can see there's a little bit of variety in sort of like how the enemies spawn, and the goal of each stage is a little bit different, just to mix things up a little. And in future patches, I might be adding more stages so I can add more variety and make it more interesting. And again, with updates and with this stuff, as you guys saw with 3 Down Stars, I don't charge for updates. And when I add new content, like new environments, new characters, new weapons, I never charge for that. It goes absolutely against my philosophy. So any future Silver Falls games, when I add content, new features and extra stuff, I never charge for that. You guys have already paid for the game, so I appreciate that. So I like to add stuff just so people have more fun. Oh, hey Sean. Thanks. Um, yeah, I was really torn about the the skill boards and not having it in episode Prelude, because as you can tell, this is running on an updated version of the framework, the abstraction framework. Oh yeah, that's your 360. Um, the abstraction framework that I built for 3 Down Stars, and the skill board was one of my favorite things to design for that. So what Sean's talking about in the chat is if you haven't played it, 3 Down Stars has a skill board where your characters can customize their skills, and each character has their own unique skill board, and their skills on that skill board are also tied to the storytelling, and they're tied to the lore and history of that character. Um, but in episode Prelude, um, it doesn't have the skill board. You're more relying on rapid weapon drops, because there's quite a few weapon drops, um, and the skills are only attached to the weapons. So um, thanks for the feedback, because a lot of your feedback for 3 Down Stars has helped me improve that game a lot. So it's actually, Sean's one of the hidden heroes of 3 Down Stars, because he did a lot of testing and reporting since literally day one of 3 Down Stars. So actually, the whole, anyone that enjoys Silver Falls, thank Sean for his contributions to this feedback. I'll get killed here, so I died. But I'm hoping you'll enjoy this and be able to appreciate how quickly the weapons and the skills drop. Because the goal I wanted for this battle mode was to go out and try and find the random weapon drops in the levels to get the skills. So getting the skills is a different way. Because I didn't want to do the exact same thing as 3 Down Stars. Thanks, Sean. And I look forward to hearing your feedback. And again, in update patches, we'll try to improve as much as we can. And yeah, if people want to request features, I'm not going to say no, because I've added quite a few features that people have requested in the past that I think are fair and that would definitely make the game overall better. So see, this is a weird glitch, and I'm going to point it out because I've put so much testing into this, and again, that's just how game development works. Is there's a weird glitch now where that's flickering, and if I restarted the game, it would go away. But you see the inventory on the right isn't supposed to disappear like that. And I've been testing this for months, and that's never happened. So of course, on a live stream, it's going to happen. So as we're working on the first update patch, I'll be looking into why that happened. But again, of course, on a live stream, this sort of stuff is going to happen. Um, and I was just thinking, like, man, I wonder what weird thing that I've never seen, that's never happened before. I wonder what weird thing is going to happen on the live stream. So let me see if I can. Let's see. So it's gone back. No? Okay. So this is, again, All Hail Unity, because that's never happened before, and now I can't tell why it's doing that. So I'm going to take my Thunder Gun. I'll use my Thunder Gun for it. Yeah, and again, if I restarted the game, that glitch would disappear. I've been testing it for months. I've never seen it before, but that's how live streams work. I have no money. I'm gonna have a hard time resetting the game because this is the development console, so I'd actually have to close the stream for a second. So I might just do that. Ezekiel, are we going to start with all that stuff too? So this is battle mode. This is not story mode. And in battle mode, weapons drop very quickly, a lot. So when you enter each level, there's random weapons everywhere. And then every time you finish a level, you come back here, there's two weapons that always spawn, and they tend to have really useful skills attached. I'm just going to pause the stream really quick and restart the game so we can get it behaving correctly. Here we go. I'm going to stop streaming for a second. Okay. And we're back. So Ezekiel, you're asking where all that gear is coming from. So you don't start the game with that. I'm not going to show story mode because, again, it's very densely packed and it's quite efficient with the storytelling, but that means that there's going to be a lot of spoilers, and I don't want to ruin that for people. I want people to go in fresh. So I'm only showing battle mode today, and you get weapon drops pretty quickly. So I'll go to the Night Desert House. We are main man Romany. And on the stream, I've mostly just been trying to run around looking for random loot drops, which is often, I'm that kind of gamer where I can sort of zone out for a while and not care about objectives or enemies, and it's just sort of like, hey man, give me the loot, where's the treasure? And I get a bloodlust for treasure. If your stage has like gold coins that drop, I don't care if I've already got 2 million gold coins. I see that coin on the stage, I'm going to pick it up, man. Don't dangle that coin in front of me unless you want me to pick it up. So, not sure how many treasures. I think sometimes there's one behind the swing. They move around and they're randomized, but I hope there's something good here for me. Yeah, I love night stages. I would have loved to have done like a snow stage. I love snow stages, but this game doesn't have any snow stages. Right? No! You won't get between me and my treasure. Oh. Wisdom Hunter 3. Oh. I want more treasure. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna be that kind of player, right? Don't, well, judge me if you want. I'm gonna let these guys kill me so I can return to the hub area, and I'm gonna take the treasure. And look, video games are video games, and sometimes you gotta play the game. So I'm gonna let them kill me. I want the treasure. And look, as I design my game, and you make a lot of decisions when you're designing games. I don't just think of myself as a developer. I'm always thinking about the end user experience, the player experience. And I think, well, if I, you know, was playing this game and I didn't make it and I played it, what would make it really cool? Um, no, there's no skill. I don't want this. I'm gonna throw it in the trash. There's no skill attached. Let's see, hyper trigger. Yeah. All right. I can't see what's at the bottom of my inventory because of my webcam window. Let's see. I would like. I'm gonna swap out um, this guy. Right, this thing had hyper trigger. Chris, yeah, I'm 33, which I actually lost track of because the past 3 years I've been developing this series like very hard, and I actually lost track of how old I was because I wasn't really celebrating birthdays or catching up with friends or family and things like that. And it was a problem because the other day I was thinking, wait, how old am I now? Um, so I did sacrifice a lot of work-life balance, but that's just how it is when you set out to try to achieve something that is difficult. Yeah, 480. I need that money. Anything else good? There is a quality of life feature that I want to add in a future update, and that's to view the skills that are attached to the weapon. Because right now you have to take it out of the inventory and then take it out of storage, put it in your inventory to check the skill. And that's something that has bothered me since Three Down Stars. And I didn't have time while developing this game um, because I was so focused on trying to fight Unity and fix when Unity made people's pants go invisible. I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to make it a better game. So I'm hoping with the future patch I can add in some quality of life stuff. I have two Tetra Cannons in my inventory, which is way cool. All right, I'm gonna keep my health item. I'm gonna put in one of my Tetra Cannons. Okay, so this thing has hyper trigger, yeah. All right, back to your question. When you start develop games, I actually started developing games um, when I was very young. I remember playing. It was probably Breath of Fire on the Super Nintendo. It would have been the early '90s, and I played it, and I actively said, when I grow up, I absolutely have to make video games like this one. And when I was a Ezekiel, did I have the same issues with Unity on the Switch? As we've seen here on the stream, there's been some funny visual glitches. I have had numerous problems with development with Unity on Switch. They're different from the ones that were on the 3DS, but they're just as horrifying in terms of development. So, as I was a kid, I made a lot of card games and board games, and I would take it to school. And my friends would sit around the playground and we'd play these, homemade games that I made. Uh, and it was probably the early 2000s, um, like 2001 or two, probably two or three actually. I was using Game Maker, and then I was making games and putting them on CDs, and I was either giving them to friends or selling them to people for like $1, $2, which means that you can buy yourself some extra cookies at school, or you can get yourself some extra cheese sticks. And on cheese stick day, if you can go and get segments on cheese stick day, you're gonna have a good day. Um, so this is Tetra Cannon. And I started using Unity in the late 20 teens, I think. Probably with Unity 3, I think is when I started using it. So let's just have a look at Tetra Cannon real quick. I love this thing. It uses black powder, which I don't have, so I'll have to buy some. But we'll have a look at the damage output here, which I think is really fun. I'm going to hit it. Oh, yeah, I have hyper trigger, so that did 85. Hyper trigger is useful because you shoot twice quickly. But if I get really close, we'll see, because there's 4 barrels on this guy. So I'm going to go point blank right here. And instead of 85, I did 340. And because of hyper trigger, it shot twice instantly, as you can see. So I just did 2 rounds of 340. So if you need to take down like a, a difficult enemy or a big mob, you put on hyper trigger, you grab your Tetra Cannon, and you just go point blank. It's quite useful, even for things like, all right, we'll have a look at the shotgun, we'll have a look at the damage spread. And this is, again, this is a glitch. It wasted months of my time, and eventually I had to say that there's nothing I can do about it. There's textures that define how specular characters are, and that's how shiny parts of their body are. And as in certain rooms, and Unity seems to alternate, but as certain rooms load into the game, and then you're playing the game over time, that character's specular map will become corrupted, and this starts happening. And there was absolutely nothing I can do. I tried for months to create workarounds to find a way to make it stop happening, and it got to a point where I just couldn't fight Unity over it. So this is a thing that's totally out of my control. Unless somebody has more insight onto it, I would love to hear about it. But again, I wasted so much time. There's so many things in the game that should have been better, that I just couldn't spend time on because I was fighting Unity over things like this. And that's just texture corruption over time. And again, I couldn't figure out a way to do it. And it's heartbreaking. It's frustrating because I don't want to put a product out there that people think, oh, this developer's lazy. This developer didn't do the best they could. Unfortunately, this is one thing that's out of my control, and I'm hoping we can fix it in a future patch. And that's just annoying texture corruption. I'm just gonna have to live with it. Anyway, we'll check that. So it did 124, 2 shots up close. Um, I'll go at a distance, and I'll just hit it with the middle. 108, 93. 16. So you can see if you hit it with just the edge. Um, it did very little with just the edge of the hit. Pretty good. 124, and then you get your hyper trigger to shoot twice. I'm keeping hyper trigger on there. That's such a great skill. Um, was it a good game? Breath of Fire. It's great that you're making your own games now. Thank you, Chris. Um, Breath of Fire is an incredible series. It had such a huge impact on the RPG industry as a whole, and I think it doesn't get a lot of the credit that it deserves because it did a lot of things first. It pioneered a lot of concepts in RPGs. Breath of Fire 1 uh, is so hard, and if you did want to play it, I would recommend playing the Game Boy Advance version. It looks washed out, and the music is worse because it's on the Game Boy Advance. Um, but there's some quality of life changes in the Game Boy Advance version. Like I can tell they adjusted the difficulty. There's a run button, but I grew up with Breath of Fire 1, um, and it's still one of my favorite games of all time. Let's try some different weapons. Yeah. This thing's so cool. No, I reloaded the wrong weapon. I wanted my Manticore Shotgun. Like the reload animations, I wanted them to be smoother and more efficient. Again, I just didn't have time to work on it, which is, you gotta cut your losses at some point and then hope you can just fix things up in when you have the opportunity. All right, so let's just have a close look at this guy. Um, Again, all the weapons are there are 3 down stars weapons. There's a few weapons that are exclusive to this game that were not in 3 down stars. This weapon, I super love this thing. It's, uh, go. All right, and this is again is a weapon that doesn't work great from far away. 54, 54. We'll go right up close. Let's go from farther away. Oh, uh, again, this is a fun little feature that this is actually something that fans requested when we were making 3 down stars. Is a first-person aiming mode for the weapons. So when you double tap the aim, so you're aiming once, you let go and tap it again, and it will go into a first-person aiming. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and hop into a level. I'll go to. So Breath of Fire is one of those series where I think it's a shame that it's not continuing. And everyone's got, you know, a number of franchises that they love that, you know, for many reasons, um, publishers stop supporting franchises, and it's a shame, but you know, uh, that's just the way the world is. You know, a rainbow isn't beautiful because it belongs to you, and you know, it's beautiful because it existed, not because it exists forever. And I sometimes look at a franchise and I think it'd be so great to see a modern version of this game. And you know, you can live in hope, because sometimes things do come back as a free-to-play gotcha mobile game. Ouch. And you can see this sort of the texture corruption once you go to a different map. The texture corruption from the character texture is gone. And again, hopefully we can get that addressed in a future patch. But that's really comes down to if Unity releases a version that works properly. It'd be great to see another F-Zero game. Is the mechanic returning in this game? It's a very good question. I don't know. Maybe this game actually reveals who the mechanic is. Who is it? Is it someone that we've met in town? I'm not going to spoil it, but if you want to see the mechanic in this game, you're going to have to look pretty hard. That's all I'll say. Oh yeah, treasure? Treasure? Oh no, no treasure spawn. Maybe I should just die. If I can't have treasure, I'll just die. I should be actually using how useful is Hyper Trigger ability. Hyper Trigger is one of the harder abilities to get in 3 down stars. So useful though, especially if you have a weaker, faster shotgun. Hyper Trigger is super useful because then you can spray and pray, as they say. Yeah. I'm playing this on the Switch, so this is how it looks, and I'll show you the difference actually between the graphics modes. And I personally feel that there isn't a huge, like, I worked so hard on this, and one of the things I really, you know, focused my effort on was if you go into balance mode, you press minus and you can change the quality of the graphics. I really tried to make it to where there wasn't a huge drop in visual quality, so the game still looks really good, even though you're in best performance mode. But you'll get, you know, much better frame rates in best performance mode. But then you go to best graphics, and it's like, I don't know, if you want to take a screen grab of the game, switch it to best graphics, a lot of environments will still run great, even in best performance mode, but you'll find that when there's a lot of special effects, just like any video game, once there's a lot of enemies, once there's special effects, you're going to see frame rate drops, and that's why I let you switch to best performance by just pressing the minus mode very quickly. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. This game is 3 days before 3 down stars. This game is the night before 3 down stars. So you'll probably recognize this character, Romanik. He was recognizable if you played 3 down stars. And if you've never played 3 down stars, you can jump right into this game. It's not a requirement to play any other game in the series, but this takes place the night before. Again, we're still waiting on Nintendo to roll out the update for 3 down stars to fix the story mode issues. We've been waiting a while, but hopefully they might launch it this month. You know, you'll live in hope. I just no! I was This guy just jumped over the thing. I was gonna shoot him while he was stuck on the trailer. That's a shame. Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you for playing 3 down stars. Yeah, so I personally wanted, with this game, I wanted, if people had played 3 down stars and they're familiar with the series, I want people to feel like, whoa, this is the random guy from the beginning of the game. Well, then who else could be a playable character? Who else could be important in the story of Silver Falls? And so I want people to start to feel like, Oh, well, there was a bunch of people that were just standing around in the background of Three Down Stars. Maybe this person's important, or maybe that person that has something to. The road to Three Down Stars was pretty interesting, wasn't it, Sean? There's a lot of moments where it's like, oh no, now this thing's broken, now this thing's broken. Yeah, and at one point, if you had loaded your save data with Annalise already unlocked, you could get stuck at a part of the game like, what a wild ride, you know. But hey, it's the memories, it's the fun and the memories that count. All right, let me buy some snacks. Yum yum yum. Let's see. So I'll buy some power snacks because I like hitting things. All right. Let me just. I'm gonna test one actually. This is my scythe. I do 76 with my scythe. I'll try and line up the light so we can see the lighting here. All right. I'm gonna eat my power snack. Um, throw my bag on the ground. I did not recycle. Scythe, and now I do 119. I wonder if this. So this extends the duration. If you keep eating these, it will extend the duration. Just like in real life, you should, when you're eating snacks, just keep eating them. So you can see I did 173. This is getting crazy now, because I'm doing way more damage. Um, and now there's just a bunch of chips all over the ground. Um, I did 196 that time. So you can see the game is designed for you to really lean on these items. There is a skill that speeds up your eating time. Okay, so it capped out at 196. But if you keep eating the snack, it'll refresh so that it'll stay active for longer. An option for a chapter select possible in a future update. You mean in episode Prelude in this game? Oh, chapter select and 3 down stars. Um, I'm not sure on that. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, it could be like a new game, but we'll see. You know, the future is vast and beautiful. Silver Falls VR went. Hey, it's not out of the question. You wouldn't. It would be pretty cool. Um, yeah. Imagine how strong he'd be if he didn't only eat 2 of the 40 chips in those bags. Yeah, it's Silver Falls VR would be pretty fun because then hang out with your favorite characters and do your hands any way you like. Let's go ahead and try some folk snacks, actually. Let me buy some of those. Let me clean up my inventory a little. All right, let's drop that in there. Put this guy away. We want the snacks, man. So I'm gonna get Swift Snack helps you run faster. Spicy Snack, I believe, helps you escape grappling uh, faster. Oh no, I believe that we'll check it. I think it was either that or increases your defense. Should know these things off the top of my head, but I do so much development. There's so much content in this. I actually forget some things that I make. Okay. See, I'm sorry. I can't see that last slot in my inventory, so I am getting a little lost in the sauce. Check it. All right, so I'm gonna check this, and it temporarily boosts damage dealt with guns. Okay. Temporarily boosts speed of escaping after being grabbed, so that's useful. See, with Silver Falls, I don't want to force people to play certain ways. So if you don't want to use your escape weapons, you want to break your melee weapons, you could just eat a bunch of snacks, and it makes it a lot easier to escape. So let's test what gun have I got? Right, I got a pistol. We got we did 18. It's not a strong pistol, but it's quite fast. What was it? This one? Sorry, I can't see the screen. Focus snack. Yum 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 yum. Thank you. Oh, eat your snacks, man. Yum, 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 yum. 7s. Again, that hyper trigger is helping me shoot twice. So, I think, yeah, I think it caps out, you stack it that many times, and then any more that you eat, it won't increase the effect, but it'll still add to the duration of the boost. Whoa, that boost is still active. Wow. So there, actually, I did increase. Again, this is due to fan feedback. Um, I increased the duration of the snack boosts because people were saying that it didn't last long enough. So, yeah, it's more rewarding to eat snacks. You know, that's how I say. Um, you know, if you're gonna get into a fight with someone, you got to load up on snacks first. Uh, is the player able to interact with the inventory by using the Switch touchscreen? No. Uh, I had considered it, um, and I cut the feature out because it was going to take a lot of extra work, and I was about to do it, but once I started encountering issues where, like, say, for example, Unity starts eating your character models, like, it's not happening now, but Holt's pants were disappearing earlier. Um, Romanik's face textures were getting corrupted. It'll Unity will eat your hat, it'll eat your hair, your face will eat itself. Once I started running into those, I had to cut out a lot of stuff from development that I wanted to do. There were a lot of things I wanted to fix and improve, and it got to a point where it's like, unfortunately, I can't anymore. Uh, yeah, defensive switch. Thank you. I'll take that. So that's when you switch your weapon, you take less damage. I think, did Bull have that? Crouching reload. Okay, so I think we had that one on hold. So now, I'd love in a future patch to do more unique animations because you have items like Miracle Cream. What's it look like when the character uses that? Do they, rub it all over their face? Do they eat the jar? So I would love to see that. Is there a steak in here? Oh no! Oh no! There's no steak. Okay. See it. The ending of the last few weeks of development of this game were so tense, trying to get everything ready to go. I don't actually remember which items have unique animations for eating, so I think this one does. Yeah, jam that sandwich right in there. I gotta buy. All right, I'll buy another one of those. All right, let's sell. I might take one of those for an emergency. Sell these so I can get some sandwich. I don't even know one of these. I don't even know what skills attached to that. Buy a sandwich. The sandwich going out. Or why did I put that in the slot that I can't see? Alright. Oh, am I going to port 3 down stars to Switch? Yes. Part of the reason I made episode Prelude was to update the abstraction framework that 3 down stars runs on so that it's now a Switch framework. Uh, and then eventually I will be doing 3 down stars on Switch. Um, and by the time I do that, I'll have all of the kinks and issues worked out so that 3 down stars can be the absolute best game that it can be. But the difficulty with that is I have to redo all the graphics because if you just copy and paste it, it would look like a 3DS game on a Switch, and I don't think that looks very good. So I'm actually currently in the process of redoing all the graphics. I do a bit of work here and there. I have active projects in the series for the upcoming games, but in between sort of downtime, I work on updating the graphics for 3 down stars. So eventually I will have it on Switch. We don't need voice actors uh, at this point. But I would love, and this is not saying that I have something planned, I would love to do a 32-bit era style game with voice acting that sounds like it came out of uh, that time period. I gotta eat the sandwich. Here we go. Eating sandwiches. Yum, yum, yum. Jam it in there. Yeah, you can't catch me. I'm eating sandwiches all day long. Ah! No! I need invincible snackers, what I need. Leave me. I'm eating my sandwiches. I'm eating so many sandwiches. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go pick up my lunch. Let's see. There's none of these. Yeah, there's an ability that gives you iframes for snacking. I don't think Romanic has it. Actually, he's supposed most, if not all, items that have a unique animation for eating. If you get hit while eating it, they're supposed to drop it on the ground. So I guess um, no, I don't think I did it for the sandwich actually. But for the bags of chips, if you get hit while eating it, they explode everywhere. So you can see there's just small things everywhere that oh, why doesn't this thing have that? Hopefully I can add it in a future patch when I have more time. See, one thing I wanted to do was those tumors on their face, I wanted them pulsating, and I wanted them sort of wet and dripping. And it's cosmetic, and I didn't have time to address it, unfortunately. But I think it'd be so nice if their face nodules were pulsating. Is that the word? Zelda, you make me want to work on a game despite all the issues, roadblocks that come with it. Do it! If you want to do it, just do it. If you have an idea, if you think of something that would be fun, even if you just want to like recreate something as a fan game, just do it. There's plenty of other engines besides Unity, and if you're using Unity to make a PC game, it's much more stable. The difficulty is Unity running on other consoles is where I'm running issues into. I've used Unity for PC and Unity for mobile, and I don't run into the same issues as doing Unity for consoles. But there's a lot of other engines out there. If you want to use Unreal, you can use G-Develop, I think, is one that's sort of, you're just learning to get in game development. It's a very good one. Um, or if you want to make an RPG, you can use a very robust development program like RPG Maker. And that is like a full RPG. You plug in your story. If you don't know how to make graphics, use the graphics that come with RPG Maker. Just do it. It's so much fun. You don't need to be a super excellent, masterful wizard to start game development. Everyone starts somewhere, and if you can think of something fun, if you've got something you want to make, absolutely do it. It's a lot of fun. Lucas to Blue, have you thought about bringing the game to PC at all? I've decided to keep the Silver Falls series exclusive to Nintendo, so I have thought about it and I've decided against it. And the reason being is that I don't feel that as a solo developer, and even if I had a small team working with me, I don't feel that I could produce a PC game that is impressive and robust as a PC game. Because the competition out there, your options for PC games, there's so many great, huge AAA titles that look insane, they look incredible. Um, as a developer, a solo developer, I know that I cannot match the expectation for PC games, and that's why I've decided, even if I tried, it would take my attention away from focusing on putting it on Nintendo consoles, and it would make the Nintendo counterparts worse. And I don't want to make my Nintendo games worse. I want to make them the best they can be. So if I focus on only making it a Nintendo game, that means that it absolutely will be the best that it can be because I'm not spreading myself thin by trying to make it on other platforms. Unfortunately, if you were to make a game multi-platform for PC and Switch, the Switch is the lowest common denominator, and your game has to be made for the lowest common denominator. If I were to make an exclusive PC game, Speedy Eater, yeah. If I were to make a PC game, I would make it just a PC game so I can, use all the power that's available to you as a developer. But once you include weaker hardware like a Switch, you're holding yourself back from your overall product. And that's why I've decided if I focus on Switch, then it will be the best that it can be for the Switch. I've missed a couple comments. Zelda. Yeah, GB Studio and RPG Maker. There's a lot of development engines that don't require coding. You just do drag and drop with your blocks, with your block. Um, yeah, do it. Make a game, make a fan game, do something fun. If you want to do it, do it. It's a lot of fun. It's not as hard to start when you start with frameworks that are meant to help you start. Yes, we are going to keep making Silver Falls games. We have another one that I'm behind schedule because uh, I'm sort of in a recovery period after finishing this game. I'm sort of just I'm on detox from coffee. I'm not having coffee. I might have a small one later on, but I'm just sort of getting my brain to go back to normal. And then I need about 3 weeks to finish the development on the next Silver Falls game, and then we will be submitting that to the Switch. So hopefully that will follow not too far behind. I gotta eat my chips, drink my juice. Drink my juice, eat my chips. Yum yum yum. If you sort of watch the characters, they all have each character has their own individual sort of facial habits. So they feel, even from an animation standpoint, they feel quite unique. Every character has different, twitches and things they'll do with their face over time. Um, yum chips. Uh, Yeah, if you can contribute music to someone's game, that too, that's great. You can join, or contribute to teams all over the internet, which is so great with the internet. I've met a lot of incredible people over the internet because of game development, and that I consider lifelong friends. We've never met in real life, but we chat quite often, and then we met over projects where years ago I was contributing a pixel art. They were doing the composing, and you'll meet just really cool people. You can chat about games, chat about anything. But yeah, working on game development is just a lot of fun. Yes, absolutely. Sean is right. Yeah. Um, and one fun detail, because of the lighting in here, it's going to be difficult to do. I'll go to this chill stage again. I'll buy some snacks. Um, all the items are like in really high resolution. So, well, actually, no, it's too dark in here. Um, you can read all the text on products and things in this in episode Prelude. So if you want to read um, the chips, you can. Let's hope they don't attack me. Yeah, QA is an option. Um, Sean has really helped us get 3 down stars into a playable state, and right now the current build it is waiting for Nintendo to roll out an update. But 3 down stars is as good as it is because Sean was so helpful in helping us track down a lot of the issues with 3 down stars. So, okay, if you no clip into the vending machine, do you see the individual chip models in the bag? Or are the bags always empty and they just generate? Um, yes, the bags are always empty, but they don't generate chips at the lid. They generate chips inside the bag itself, and there's colliders so that if you were to see it from a certain angle, you can see the chips actually pouring out of the bag. So, yes. Can you leave me alone so I can eat my chips? I just want a snack. I want a snack so good. Ah, see there, he hit me, and you can see that I dropped the bag and the chips went flying everywhere. I don't know, I suppose you could screenshot it. Oh, I don't know, you could, suppose you can I don't know, get a sniper rifle or no, actually left sniper rifles out of this game. So this episode Prelude doesn't have sniper rifles. So you could zoom into it. You can read the text. I don't know. If you guys want, I can sort of find and bring up the texture at some point on the chips. Actually, every product that's in the game, I individually create complete packaging in like 4K, and I, put all the flavor text and everything. So every product is actually fully designed in these little falls. Chris. Oh, thanks. It's 3:36 a.m. I appreciate you hanging out. We'll do another live stream soon. So, oh man, if you gotta go to work, try and get some shut-eye. But I appreciate you hanging out with the stream and chatting. Yes, you can do screen recording. Yes, you can. You can take screenshots. So I'll push the button. Save. And then you can do a movie if you happen to perform a cool maneuver. I love these things. Just love what a happy little boy this desert dog is. Aw, you killed me. The thing I love. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you next time. Lucas Too Blue, what's the ETA on public release of the game? This is episode Prelude. This is launching May 6th. Cheers. We'll see you again next time. May 6th. So it'll be on the Switch. It'll be $7.99 US dollars, €6.99 euros. And there are certain places in the world, certain countries where I try to keep up with what's happening in the world. So there's certain countries where I just made the game substantially cheaper. So there's certain countries where it won't be $7.99. It might be like $4 or $3 or $4 just to make it easier for people to pick up. Because I know there's certain countries that are just doing it really tough because of all the things that are happening. So I manually made sure that certain countries just got it noticeably easier to just buy for a couple bucks. Right. So if you play story mode, you can find more of the laser colors. Okay, this is like super, super, super secret. And I might include it in a future patch in 3 Down Stars in this game. I don't know. We'll see. I really wanted a rave party laser sight where it just keeps flashing different colors, and maybe when you're aiming, you'd hear like a I don't know rave party laser sight. I would have loved that. Again, I didn't have time during development. I just think that'd be so cool. Me personally, if the game had, well, if any game had a rave party laser sight, that's what I would be using. All right, let's see what we got here. Sean, I'm playing this on the actual Switch. This is the actual Switch, so this is what the graphics look like. This is what the performance is. 1-for-1. This is Switch hardware. Oh, I don't even know I had this thing. Let's see how much. Let me look at my skills. Does this have anything cool? Invincible Scavenger. Gain 2 seconds of invincibility after picking up an item. Hunting knife. It's probably enough for this mission. Huh, I wonder what that's a nod to. Rush attack. Boost melee power by 30% when running longer. Oh, I didn't realize I had that. That's very cool. So let's go ahead and test that. That's way cool. Now you can combine that. So I think Romanik already has rush attack. So when you do a dodge attack, the damage is already higher. So let's go ahead and test this, right? All right, I did 51, and I think Romanik has a built-in skill where if you dodge and attack, I missed. It did 100. It did 100. So it's substantially stronger because Romanik has an ability built in. It did 100. But, yeah, it does 51 on its own. But now we have an ability that says, okay, it boosts melee attack by 30% when running longer than 2 seconds. So I'm going to run longer than 2 seconds. and it did 66 instead of 51. So now I'm going to combine those things together. I'm going to run longer than 2 seconds, dodge, and that, and I did 129 instead of 100. I'm having to look up because the camera's getting closer. I think I should be using a faster weapon, but you can see all the different skills and abilities stack on top of each other to turn you into an unstoppable machine of damage output, which is what I wish I could be. Alright, so that's 100, and then I run longer than 2 seconds, roll, attack, and I get 129. Sweet. Cool. What's Caramel Dancin'? Do I have to look that up? Don't include the song in the game, but sync it to the beat of Caramel Dancin', the Rave Laser. I'll have to look that up. I don't know what that is. Yes. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of it. I don't go to raves. Alright, you'll get it for me? Okay. And this game you'll find in 3 Down Stars you had the Chunky Meal, and the Chunky Meal was like a full heal, restores all your health, but it slows your characters down. And if people didn't notice it, like I actually forgot about it when I was testing 3 Down Stars, and I saved up a bunch of Chunky Meals for the final boss. And I was testing the final boss for an update patch, and I was getting beat, and I thought, yeah, I got the full heal, and I was loading down on Chunky Meals, and all of a sudden I was moving at like a snail's pace, and I remembered like, oh no, and I actually got killed by the boss because I'd eaten too many Chunky Meals. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out later. All right. All right. I'm a big Smash Bros. Fan. Has anyone ever played Smash Bros? You know, you're sort of humming along to character select music. You're like, na 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 na. Okay, and you're like, yeah, yeah, sweet. A match starts, and it's like, you know, Battlefield or whatever, and then the music that plays is the character select music or the menu music, and my brain is like, what's happening? Why am I hearing the menu music during a fight? I don't know if that's ever happened to anyone. It happened to me for the first time the other day. My brain like just froze for a second. I don't see treasure spawn. The treasure. Where's the treasure? I'm gonna check behind this tree back here. Okay. Let's see. Alright, I'll have to check into that if it's missing from the coming soon. I'm sure it's just like they're preparing it for the eShop or anything, but there shouldn't be any reason why it doesn't launch. I haven't received any alerts about it, so I'll look into it. Thanks. Thank you. Yes! So I hide this one here, so it's kind of hard to see unless you track it down. Give me something good. No! There's no skills attached! I don't want this. I don't want this flintlock pistol with no skills attached. Maybe I should start fighting these guys. There's so many. I actually haven't been playing Holt, so I don't even know what skill loadout he has. One of these! Actually, I'll show you the damage output on that in the hub room. It's not listed on 5.5 or 5.6. Yeah, I'm sure it's just like a maintenance thing, but I'll look into it. Getting these effects on Switch with like a half-decent frame rate is a huge challenge. Kind of went into like a blind developer's rage to get these sort of visuals here. And honestly, if you asked me to do it again, I'm not sure if I could, because I was in a blind rage trying to get all of these visuals to work. All right, so you can see my points per minute. My time points per minute. It's not going to be good if you're just hunting treasure, but like the night stage, the night desert house is where you're going to get good points per minute. So but that's just like a fun personal challenge you can try to work on. Wait, let's have a quick look at this. All right, so Holt's machete does 65. Face away. 97. And the hitbox on your reversal attack is huge. It's so big. And the reversal attack, I actually created it because people were saying it's difficult when enemies run behind you. And I created the enemy specifically to do that because that's how I believed animal behavior would be, was if they're in a flock, they would sort of flank you and make it difficult for you to fight. But in a game, it might make it too difficult. So how you do the reversal attack, these guides will tell you these things here, all of these. They'll tell you how to do all the different moves. You just hold down on the control stick, you tap B twice, your character will do a 180. And so all you have to do is just press the attack button during that, and then you'll do that. So you can see your normal damage does 65 and 97. And you can see I was nowhere near it, but your hitboxes are quite big when you're doing it. Ooh, big damage. Here we go. Something good, please. Rock steady. Alright, that means you don't... you flinch a lot less when an enemy sort of stuns you. Alright. Anyway, I'm not sure how long it's been. I don't know, is there anything else you guys wanted to see before we wrap up the stream? I think I've earned a small coffee, so I might try and make myself a small coffee. Unless anyone had anything they wanted to see. Intro cutscene. There isn't an intro cutscene. Much like 3 Down Stars, you just start the game, you go right into it. The intro cutscene is the camera panning into the title screen. Alright, okay. Alright, I'll start story mode just a little bit. Just before we wrap up, I'll start a little bit of story mode. There's going to be some stuff, some slight stuff. I don't want to spoil anything. Alright, we're going in. So we'll start the game, and there won't be too many spoilers or anything. I'll just do it really... Going in. Story mode. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're going in. Alright, we'll play a little bit of that, and then we'll wrap things up, because I don't want to spoil too much. So, you start here. Dominic Rodriguez. You're out in the middle of the desert. So you'll see on the right, your boss is going to message you, and you can choose to reply by pushing the right analog stick in. I'm going to reply to them, and then I'm going to press R. You can see it's quite distracting because you're in this dark environment, and then this bright phone blinds you, which is like that on purpose, of course. Alright, I'm not going to respond to it this time. But the story actually changes a bit, and the amount of story and lore that you get changes depending on which messages you ignore and which messages you respond to when your boss is sending you text messages. So the story mode is quite short, but you're meant to replay it a couple of times. One, to see, to get more lore and context out of the story, more backstory, to get different interactions with the boss, and then to sort of find all the hidden items. Like, there's outfits, and then there's laser sights. Alright, you feel sorry for him, you take a photo, and then, yeah. So, there's notes scattered all over the ground. Oh yeah, you can speed run the game and ignore your boss. Sure, yeah, that won't get you fired at all. I got to do these fun camera angles from the distance. You can see he has like typos and things while he's typing. It's, maybe he's not that good with the phone sort of thing. Right, and then we'll get here. And then I don't want to spoil too much, so actually, there won't be that many spoilers as long as I don't answer my boss's text messages. Yeah, I'll just do a run around. No, go away. Um, there we go. I think this is a fine screen to leave it off on. Yeah. What? Oh, Sean, what's a moose pop? Um, what's a moose pop? A moose pop is like in Australia we have Pluto Pops. Is that what they're called? It's a corn dog. Um, we call them Pluto Pops for some reason. Got no idea why. So a moose pop is a corn dog, but it's got moose meat inside of it. Yum yum yum. Uh, yeah. Oh, you're thinking of Arnold. Yeah, from the first from Three Down Stars. So that's not Arnold. That's $1 million buck. You see him frozen uh, in Three Down Stars. Um, so hey, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thanks very much for hanging out. It's a lot of fun chatting about games and just talking about stuff and hanging out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had fun. And I hope you'll check out episode of Prelude when it launches May 6th on Nintendo Switch. So, hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Sean, no wonder he owns the fast food place. There we go. So, alright, see you guys. Take care. We'll try and keep active on social media. And let's hang out more when the game comes out, when the game launches May 6th. We'll do some more live streaming and hang out. And I'll share more about the upcoming game. Alright. See you guys. Thank you.